speaker has joined, so hopefully we can spotlight Anil Grover with us, who is currently, Anilji, I presume you are in India at the moment.
Yes, I'm in India at the moment, Milan, Dr.
Yeah,
Milan, yes.
good. Lovely to see you looking radiant. What I don't know what time it is in India at the moment. It's probably the evening now.
8 o'clock here.
Okay, good. Well, good evening to you. And I hope currently in London, it is 0 degrees and it's actually just slightly snowing outside. So it's a slightly different weather to where you may be. So for those who are watching, I'd like to just give a brief introduction to Anioji. Really excited to have him on. And the whole theme, well, we'll see which themes are coming up, but certainly of this post-COVID syndrome, really interested to hear, and the healing back to optimal health. Anil is a certified functional medicine health coach through the School of Applied Functional Medicine in Massachusetts and also the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York. Also a graduate of plant-based nutrition certificate through the Colin Campbell Center in New York. So a real background in functional medicine as well as nutrition, and is also a practitioner and teacher of meditation for over 30 years as a social service. And a particular obsession really with proactive, holistic approach to health came out of his own experiences with a family's cancer journey, and now educates, inspires, and empowers others to be leaders and nurturers in their own health and wellness. So the theme today, I presume now, is going to be on post-COVID challenges, such as respiratory or fatigue or gut issues. So someone may have had COVID, but after that, some people fully recover. Others may need time to recover and are left with things. And Anioji has given us a bit of a background of, he may speak about viruses, understanding our own immune system, and what happens when viruses enter our body. But with that, we've got time together. We've got the next sort of 40 minutes together, however long or short you need. And let's enjoy that journey together, Anilji. Welcome and namaste.
Yes, so global namaste, healing to everyone who's watching. And Dr. Milan, Nil Kumar, I thank you and everyone else for the wonderful opportunity you all have given me to be of service to your wonderful community, to the wonderful task you all are doing. It's great to get people together at such a time. So yes, last year has been stressful, challenging, but after the darkness, there is always light. And I believe that we always are learning something. You know, the wisdom of the universe is always there to teach us. There's always positivity in everything. So this evening, let us get together. And my wish is that I can throw some light on how to get back to where we were, you know, that joyful moments, being able to meet everyone, travel around. So no matter we went through all these things, so there is always something to learn. So I would like to share. So I share my screen now. So is it clear, the screen?
Yes, we can see it perfectly. We can see a slide saying pandemics of the 20th century.
Yeah, okay. So Dr. Milan, yes, and everyone watching. So this just shows that COVID or viruses, this is just a snapshot I picked up for just viral pandemics, and just last 100 years only. It didn't go back further on, just 100 years they were swine, Spanish flu, 50 million lost their lives, Asian flu, Hong Kong flu, AIDS still carrying on, 30 million, and 2019 COVID. The purpose to show this is that viruses always existed. They are ubiquitous, they will always be there, and they are not going away. They are not going to go away. So we have to understand that, you know, there is some much deeper knowledge wisdom than what we can comprehend. Otherwise, God or the universe or the earth would not have viruses. Maybe they come as a challenge or they come to teach us something, but they always came and they went. So the only choice what we have, what is in our control, is our perspective, how we look at it, and the body which God has given us, nature has given us, how can we make it resilient? Proactively, how can we make it strong so that we never wish, but as we see the past, future, something more could come up. But I'm sure we are learning, our medical system, scientists, everyone is learning and will be better equipped if any such thing comes up. But each one of us individually has the control over our bodies and our mind. So let's take an analogy. Supposing, tomorrow morning we get up and there's information everywhere, news, 10 o'clock, everyone has to start jogging. That's it. No one can avoid it. And you can't stop. You have to keep running, keep moving, keep jogging, not allowed to stop. So what's going to happen? You carry on and you carry on. So some will not make it. Some just will unfortunately collapse, maybe the elderly, or maybe even the young who perhaps were not used to walking, running so much, or had some illnesses. So what does that teach us? That was jogging the cause of the problem, that I could not do it, I collapsed? Or was it something else? Or was it that I was not prepared? I was not, my lifestyle was such that I was not healthy, or maybe my age. So similarly, when this virus came about, as they always come about, this one, novel means new. Our body's immune system, the adaptive immune system did not have the resources ready to attack it. So it becomes a challenge. So what I'm saying is that they could be, their triggers, their challenges. Yes, unfortunately, many lost their lives, and it's a very sad case. But it's our health which is more important. The proactive health is more important. Let's take, for example, this is my body's immune system, my soldiers, immune system, immunity, they are like soldiers protecting us. So now these soldiers seem to be under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of activity going on. And if they have another onslaught from the army, from the enemy, it won't be easy for them. Similarly, supposing my immune system is under that condition, and then if this novel virus, or any virus, but this time, let us say this new COVID virus were to enter me, enter my body, so, and my immune system has to handle it from this standpoint where it's already overstressed, naturally it's not going to be easy. So during this 1 year, we learned, everyone picked up many new words. For example, let us say comorbidity. We all heard it, comorbidity is so, it's bad, it can get into, end up in a bad way if a person comes under COVID onslaught. So our lifestyle, actually, the word comorbidity, actually it's almost multi-morbidity, means we are having many chronic illnesses, which we just take it for granted. We just take it for granted, like diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, and we think it's part of life. There are medicines for it. They are great medicines, wonderful. But lifestyle, are we trying to be proactive and overcome them with a doctor's help, with a change in lifestyle so that we need less medication? Because with multi-morbidity, there was polypharmacy, lots of medicines. We had to have medicines for all of them. These medicines come with lots of strong side effects, lots of interactions. And now the COVID coming in. So some made it, some got no symptoms. For some, it was very bad. And for some, it was very unfortunate. So we can, pass on the blame to the system, to God, even to nature, or to why, or to the medical system. But they all were doing a fantastic job. Everyone was doing their best. We saw that. But what about us? What can I do? The only thing what we can do is make ourselves more resilient. We can make ourselves more healthy so that the wonderful, immune system which nature has given me, which this earth, God has given me, let me support it so that we end up with less casualties. So, my immunity, the talk is not to go technical. So just, we have two parts, innate and adaptive. So if we understand how it works, for me, it's nature's phenomenal, sophisticated marvel. If you could understand it, how amazing it is. Who made it? How does it function? It's unbelievable. For me, there is no human army in the world till today created which can match our immune system. Yes. So we have to thank it. So to thank it, it's doing its job. Viruses are going to be there forever, but we have to prime, modulate, support the immune system. So how do we do that? So just first of all, it's so fascinating. Innate, adaptive. Innate is which is in the front line, let us say, the moment it encounters anything, let's say the nasal or our gut, that is the doorway between the outside world and my inside world. So there we have around 60-70% of the immune system is stationed there, 24 hours surveillance, and it sees anything, it encounters it. That's the innate. And then we have a very sophisticated adaptive. So the coronavirus comes. So the innate ones, they handle it. So supposing my innate was good, they would handle it there. At the same time, message has passed on to the sophisticated adaptive one. And we came across this last 1 year, another word which everyone knows now, antibodies. So antibodies are very special, let's say, armament, soldiers. So they are made specific to the specific virus. So we never had it before because this was a new virus. So our adaptive immune system gets messages through, another word became very popular, cytokine. They are messengers. So message comes from the innate at the front line to the behind the scenes sophisticated ones to make this very special targeted machinery to take and kill the COVID virus, which takes around a week's time or 4-5 days. So it's fascinating how it works. It's fascinating. So the purpose of the talk is, how can I support it? That is our responsibility. That is each one of our responsibility. So I just take a break here and stop the sharing so that we can get to see Dr. Milan, and let's have his ideas. Then we move on to What
Definitely.
can we do to support our, or he's
Yeah.
done the sharing,
So
stopping
yeah,
the sharing.
if
Thanks.
you could
Okay.
stop, I think your screen is still on at the moment. If you could do
Okay.
stop screen sharing.
Yes.
Perfect. So I love the analogy. Well, many things. First, that viruses have been around, they've come and gone, and this is nothing new in that one sense. And I think that gives us a sense of a bigger picture, because I think at the moment, certainly in the last year, our entire media, our lives have been totally sort of overwhelmed by COVID, to think this is the only time this catastrophe has happened. And I think this is probably because we're now in this world of social media where the previous viruses were not there. So they didn't get quite the publicity that COVID has been given. But then the analogy of the jogging, that look, if when someone is asked to do something and then they can't quite cope, is that the fault of let's give COVID an example. When we can't cope with COVID, it is a different one. I mean, even as a physician, and I'm sure you've seen as being a health worker as well, that some people seem to be responding in different ways. Some who've got comorbidities seem to get through it quite well, and others who seem to be quite healthy seem to have really succumbed badly. But generally, as you're right, those who have got more conditions, and and the point you made of comorbidities or polymorbidity, it almost becomes a fad. Or I've got blood pressure, I've got cholesterol, and it just becomes the norm, as you say. And I'm very grateful that I practice in UK, where we're certainly not keen at all. I'm never keen on giving medication. We will give lifestyle advice. I will work with patients so much. So, but I know other places where they may not get a chance to see a doctor so often, that you have a one hit, fine, start on this medication, and there's a faith that okay, that will work, which it does to some degree. But as you say, the body then has these other toxins in them, etc. So how can we adapt and make our own immune system stronger? So that's what I've picked up so far from what you've said, and also making our own immune system strong. I think getting ourselves ownership back of our own health sometimes, which is a really important thing, I think, in that whole physician-patient relationship. At times they want to hand over their health to the doctor or whoever, and that's important as well. That can sometimes promote that inner healing process. And other times, I think the good physician who is one who then hands that healing process back to the person themselves.
Yes, whatever you said, Dr. Millen, absolutely agree with you. That's wonderful, the way you look at health. That's wonderful. So let me move on to the next part. Let me share my screen again. Yeah. So how can I help my immune system, the wonder which nature, God has given all of us? Everyone has it. Everyone has it. So the first part, I would say, let's take this example when we encountered this novel new virus, which the body was not having the memory from before to produce the antibodies immediately. So the first thing is, I think the most important thing is perspective. To be aware what happened. Like Dr. Millen just said that we got more publicity this time. Viruses always existed. And the numbers, what we saw of mortality now compared to the earlier ones was much more. And it's just that everything became more, it's interconnected, the platforms, the media, and worldwide. So perspective, there's a lot of fear also. Fear, what has happened, what can I do? And fear coming from ignorance and not getting the correct information. There's so much information out. Everyone was expert on this topic. And fear has a total direct connection with immunity. Not getting too much into the biochemistry, fear, there are certain hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, they will suppress your immune system straight away in the beginning when this thing attacked. The first part, Then we move on to nutrition, gut health. So we're just now being proactive. Then we will talk about if someone has come home from COVID, how can we heal? So nutrition plays a very important role. If from nutrition my immune system is made, from nutrition I make energy. If I don't take care of my nutrition, if I'm not eating healthy, what is healthy food? So on all these things, I have separate blogs in my website. Nutrition is what I get from God's factory, which is natural, fresh fruits and vegetables, grains, whatever God is providing me. That's it. Are we eating that nowadays? Can we eat peacefully? Can we eat relaxed manner? So if the nutrients are not going in, if my gut health, where the immune system basically resides, from where the control is there, if that is compromised, lots of problems can take place. Physical activity, 20 minutes in the gym, 30 minutes in the gym, no, whole day. What am I doing whole day? My body is designed to move, But lifestyle, the lift, the car, the office, the chair, the lift, the car, home. So physical activity, energy, muscles, all have a role with the immune system. Stress, as connected to the perspective, stress can be from COVID itself, loss of jobs. It can be trauma also, some psychological or physiological. So if it is ongoing, so I'm having ongoing drips. I'm on drips of cortisol, of adrenaline, and various other hormones. So the analogy what we saw of that battlefield. So if that is my condition, chances are not good now in the future. And as Dr. Millen also said that it was strange, some with comorbidities did well and some healthy just succumbed. So that is very correct. And there we see there is some other, uh, things beyond understanding which takes place. Also these things happen, yes. But generally, we need to have all these things in proactively, which is under our control. So we have a better chance of not only COVID or any disease, of any dysfunction taking place to manage it. Sleep, proper restorative deep sleep has direct um, correlation with immunity. Even one night's sleep, if we miss it, next day morning we are more prone to catching colds and coughs, dark circles, tired, giddy feeling. Just missing out on one night's stressful sleep. So it's a responsibility that either I binge on just series after series, or during COVID, the news of the COVID, the numbers going up, numbers going down. I couldn't handle it. Everyone is doing their job. What I can handle is my mental perspective, positivity, prayers, meditation. That counts. Good wishes, so that I get a proper sleep. I sleep proper time. I get a proper time. The entry where COVID took place generally was through the nasal nose. So mucosal membrane health. If there are people, you'll see them always having allergies, running nose, and the thing is part of life. It carries on. You just have an antihistamine, it's okay. Um, so that's where it's going to enter. There's some dysfunction going on. It's not normal to be like that. Just taking up antihistamine and carrying on, or having allergies, asthma. So all these things will automatically have an effect. Supplementation. Okay, there is no supplements made in the world which can ever replace good, healthy foods. But if I'm not eating properly, eating while driving, steering in one hand and a sandwich in other hand, my sympathetic mode is stress. On the stress, it will not digest food. I have to eat in a different. This all are very simple things, but they're very powerful. Lifestyle, just by putting these into action, we can see the change in our health. So even sometimes it's necessary to be in touch with your doctor, health practitioner, and if you're not being able to eat well, is your vitamins, minerals adequate? Are some natural curcumin, boswellia, quercetin. So one can even look them up. They're also there. The research is there on prestigious journals. You can go there: New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, BMJ, British Medical Journal. So they are there. They have been researched on, and they can provide some extra support to thrive, because we have gone into a different mode of just stress, and so we have to be proactive, healthy, ready, like that, positively. And last, what we see here is meditation. I wrote it last because it's the most important. I left it for the last because meditation means that I am aware that I'm separate from my body. So I have to support my immune system. I am the awareness. I'm being aware what has happened. This what happened last year is part of the drama, is part of nature. It happened before. It got okay. It's happened again. Maybe to teach the world something. Unfortunately, many lost their lives. But there is something always to look at it in a positive way. So when I can be in that state of awareness, then I can see it in a different way. So meditation connected to, we can check if once we are in that peace, positivity, we can do a blood test, and you see there are different markers, hormones, and different ones when we are under stress. So that's the most important thing, because meditation normally starts from the day. We get up in the morning, and before we switch on the news of COVID, how many lost their lives today, and how many numbers contracted. We can start it with this, with meditation. And then we see the news in a different way. To be aware what's happening, concern, careful is one thing, and worry is another thing. Worry will release those negative immune suppressing hormones, and concern, being proactive, will not release those hormones. So these are some things I wanted to pass on to you all. They seem very natural day to day, but if you can implement any of them together with your doctor, together with your medications, if you're having, and you will see the changes in you, guaranteed. So then I take a break here and would like to have some suggestions, opinions from Dr. Milan. Then we move on to the last part of, if someone has come home, so he has to heal now, how he should be healed. So I stop sharing. Okay.
So essentially, yeah, this is about making ourselves stronger, and again, taking that responsibility for health. Sometimes we take it for granted. There are different decades in life, I think, sometimes. And I think even my younger patients, 20s, 30s, they feel they're immortal and carrying on. And then sometimes the first thing that happens is they become a parent. Suddenly they realize their mortality. They think, okay, actually, or a sense of responsibility. Okay, I've got to look after someone else and take their health a bit more seriously. Usually then something happens. There is some event, either there is a parent or a loved one who's passed away. Some event takes place, and that often then starts to make someone think, let me take responsibility for my health. That's not the ideal. Ideally, we want our children in schools, wherever they are, to be taught already how to, take simple steps. And you mentioned, I think, we'll take up one thing. You mentioned gut health or good food. I know you're going to come into recovery from COVID, but maybe just exploring on that, because I know the themes of meditation, wellness come up again on Healing Our Earth quite often. But I think particularly in this theme, where as doctors often, we don't always have time to really explore someone's diet. So maybe in a minute or two, exploring, what do you mean by gut health or a healthy diet?
Healthy, you can hear me?
Yep.
Gut health would be the health of there are two parts. One is nutrition. Nutrition means I'm getting all adequate vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, that is healthy fats, uh, legumes, grains, green leafy vegetables. We have seen plant-based whole foods. So they are not refined. They don't come under the category of, let's say, junk foods. So we see they are healing because they're full of phytonutrients. They are healing. They're full of vitamins, minerals. They are nutrient dense and anti-inflammatory because COVID viral infection, the cytokine storm mainly, we see that lots of inflammation happens in the body. And if I'm already in an inflammatory state and then sending my army to tackle it, it's already a difficult situation. So if I'm already very balanced by anti-inflammatory and pro-inflammatory markers are balanced, so nutrition that way is very powerful. So then gut health comes the health of my intestines, from where first part is that I have to eat proper nutritious food, part one. Then comes digestion. If I'm eating in a stressful manner, not even aware what I'm putting in my mouth, I'm seeing a TV or the phone in the hand, even the nutritious food won't get digested. Part two, digestion. Part three, after let's say is digested, then the linings of the intestine where the food particles broken down pass into the bloodstream, and then they have to travel and go and enter the cells where the action takes place. So it's many steps. So if gut health is compromised, where the immune system is basically stationed there, and um, allergy, autoimmunity, things can happen when the intestinal lining, which is very delicate, is not so healthy. So that what I mean is gut health. So it's very important, not only the nutrition of food, but the food, the stomach digestion, the absorption part, the detoxification part, that I'm not constipated, I'm being able to eliminate my waste every day properly. So everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. That's what I mean. So,
yeah, I think it's a really good point, because that daily digestion and our daily health is so important. So great. Well, look, we are cracking on here. Time is flying. So we've got our final 10 minutes. So
go to the last part.
Yeah, please do carry on to your last session.
Yeah. Okay. So the battlefield. Yes. So yes, that's being shared now. The battlefield. Okay. Okay, so battlefield, first of all, I've come home from this unfortunate experience, let's say in the hospital. Some were mild, but some really went through a very difficult time, unfortunately. So the situation inside was very, very inflammatory, because maybe some even went close to sepsis, perhaps, because of so much of cytokine. Our immune system, it is quickly, the virus just for the public is a protein. If it's lying on the table, it can't do anything. Even if it enters my body, it can't do anything, but it has to enter our cells. It's just a protein, genetic instruction code. So we all have come to know last whole years, many words became very popular. The entry it makes through the cells which have ACE enzymes on them, which were nasal, in the lungs, kidney, heart. So those are the organs which got damaged. So when it enters the cells, in the cells, it hijacks our cells machinery and just replicates. That's what it does. Doesn't do more than that. And our immune system kills it. But when it's replicating very fast, the innate immune was, let's say, not very strong because of my lifestyle, and it took long time for the adaptive to come into place. So that adaptive became very aggressive, my immunity. Cytokines, the messenger molecules became excess. So they cause collateral damage. My immunity causes damage in the organs where the viruses were replicating. So lots of inflammation. So I've come home and lots of oxidative stress, lots of reactive oxygen species are part of the system of our body, but they are very dangerous when out of control. So I'm still under that. I've come home, so I have to get my body back into balance. That the inflammation is over now. I've overcome the virus, so my body has to calm down, cool down. So not getting into technicalities. So yes, the foods, the doctor will help you with certain maybe hormones if it's necessary, steroids, but the foods will help. Pro, the anti-inflammatory foods will help. Omega-3s, flaxseed, such kind of greens, vegetables, they all will help. And the person who has come home from the hospital, he could not eat there. So it's very normal that there's nutrient deficiency. So someone has to take care and give him very, very nourishing foods has to go in, whether in soup form or whichever form. And definitely when he's in touch with his doctors, I think they can also give him vitamins, minerals, other phytonutrients because he was not eating, he could not eat. At that time, the body's wisdom, the body did not want him to eat. The body's energy was being spent by the immune system, but now he needs to eat. Deficiency in nutrients, chances are he's anemic. The blood must have gone down, iron must have gone down, fatigue, no energy. So we have to get him back to feel energy again, to be motivated again. So the doctor can look there into seeing that is he low on iron, how to help him. You know, the recovery has to take place. And the person at home can eat foods which are more having more iron. As we spoke about the GI tract is where the majority of the immunity is there also. Intestinal lining could have definitely got compromised, and secondary infections, autoimmunity may have started, some allergic reactions because of, so we have to see that the gut lining, the gut is healed. Because I remember when we were young, our parents used to take us to doctors when we used to come back from boarding school, and they sometimes took us to this kind of Ayurvedic doctors that time. And no matter what happened, they wanted to treat your gut, and you never understood. We just said, my stomach is okay, but they only wanted to take care of the stomach, your digestion first. So the gut has to be brought back to it so that it can absorb the food can get digested. The gut-brain axis, our serotonin, which is the happy hormone, motivation hormone, it's made in the gut mainly. And it's interconnected. So a lot of toxins in the body, lots of cytokines, which some of them can enter the brain, and lots of toxins there. There's a lot of, kind of fog. The person's clarity was not there when they came home. And it's very obvious there's been lots of tissue injury because wherever the ACE receptors were, where the virus was more active, those places, there is tissue has been injured. So the tissue healing, again, nourishing food, or maybe things to support the vitamins, minerals, which were given during the treatment, D, zinc. But actually, we should be taking them before also, if need be. And afterwards, definitely, under guidance of the doctor, perhaps for a longer time, because the tissue has to be healed back. And our immunity has gone down because viruses act inside the cell, just like cancer. So there are certain cells, God's immune system is wonderful. There are certain cells called NK cells, natural killer cells, which don't have to communicate with other immune cells to make a decision. They can just on their own decide and kill the intruder. So they go down. So how to bring them up? Sleep. There's wonderful research in Japan for cancer that when people went into the forest, the NK cells went up, and when they came back to the city, it stayed there for a week. So all healing, we have to get in the healing thing, not going into technical how to bring the NK cell up, but the natural healing way. There are certain master antioxidants called glutathione, which is inside the cell that has diminished, has gone away, can again come up, through foods, through supplementation. And there are certain special clinics where you can take it IV, but that's not the talk of today. So all these things play a very important role. Fear, there was a lot of fear.
Sorry to sorry to just interrupt. We're just coming to our final few minutes before our next speaker. So maybe the final few points.
Yes, so it's ending. So immunity was out of whack, and sleep we already discussed. So all these things have to be brought back. And the last thing is yours body's ability to heal is greater than anyone has permitted you to believe. So it has done its job. Now come home and let me just support it. Body's system, the universe, earth, they always use the energy for healing. So let me just sometimes, meditation, let go, faith in God, and do what I can do. And the rest is let it heal. Most important thing, after I've done everything, surrender. Not surrender doesn't mean that I just give up. No, surrender to God, to universe, and let the healing take place. So I end here, and I thank Dr. Milan, Nil Kumar, and everyone who gave me this opportunity to share whatever I could. And thanks again for the wonderful task you are doing, sending out this message to the whole world, your community, and thank you very much. And a global namaste to everyone.
Namaste. Thank you so much. Maybe if you can come off your screen share, because I love this last slide. Your body's ability to heal is greater than anyone has permitted you to believe. I think it's a lovely way to end. And as you say, when we've come back from COVID, how we can, whether it be COVID or not COVID, how we can heal ourselves and look with that faith within, and just allowing that body and having that relationship. Anioji, it's been really great to meet you, even if it's been online. Who knows? With the one positives from this COVID and all these channels, we get to meet many other like-minded individuals who have been connected all around the globe.
Yes, surely would be wonderful to meet you. Yes.
Good.
So namaste. Last year in December in London.
Yes.
So yes, it's just before COVID. I came here in January. Yes.
Good. Well, namaste. Thank you for being with us. And this whole theme of the immune system being that battlefield and getting those soldiers back ready and allowing ourselves to heal within with that spirit of surrender. So namaste. Thank you. So friends, that was Anil Grover, a functional medicine coach, as well as a teacher of meditation. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I'm taking away that feeling of healing.